Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you. Let me introduce myself. My name is Retno Subekti. I'm from Universitas Negeri Yogyakarta. Now I'm studying in Universitas Gadjah Mada with my supervisor Dr. Abdurrahman and my co-supervisor Professor Dedi Rosadi. I would like to present our research with the title The Efficiency Frontier of Markowitz and Black Litterman Model, a study case on the sharia-compliant stock in Jakarta Islamic Index. In modern portfolio theory, MPT, we know about the mean variance model from Markowitz. This is introduced in 1952. Investor can put their preference in minimizing of portfolio risk or maximizing an expected return of portfolio. The concept of efficiency frontiers (EF) is defined as the collective of portfolios that optimal. It means we can get highest returns at a certain level of risk, or we get the lowest risk at a certain expected return. Many studies related to the EF after Markowitz model proposed. This is related to the optimization decision, such as Zhang, with the title A General Framework of Optimal Investment in 2019. Another studies is from Palomba. The EF is developed from the constraint. The EF, TEF is tracking error volatility, and the value at risk constraint. The other studies is from Bess and Bailey. In other words, the EF is one of the financial tools for investor in getting optimal allocation by analyzing the risk and return. While the research from Bess and Holocaustva developed the EF from a closed form solution, while Bailey from sharp ratio. And then Palomba proposed about the additional constraint, that is VAR, value at risk, and TEF. Yeah. The other studies of EF in Indonesian market have been done from Bismarck and Supandi. Both studies use the data from LK45, and all these studies developed from Markowitz model. While in 1991, the Black Litterman was introduced to cope the weakness of the Markowitz model. The framework of Black Litterman model is combined equilibrium return with the subjective investor views. Recently, many studies about the EF and portfolio models. The study attempts to examine the EF in both model, Markowitz and Black Litterman model, with a certain case for sharia-compliant stock from Jakarta Islamic Index, JII. To review about the characteristic of portfolio, we know about the expected return portfolio and variance of return portfolio in this equation, and this model is mean variance Markowitz, how to maximize the expected return subject to the variance, or minimize the risk subject to the expected return portfolio. While Black Litterman is developed from Markowitz, with the new target, we call this as a mu BL, and we have a new new formula too for the variance portfolio. This is mu BL. The formula how to get this equation can refer to Sachel, Walter, or Chung, or many others article about Black Litterman model. In Black Litterman model, we have tau, a scalar for scaling variance of equilibrium return, and then P, omega, and Q. Q is a factor of U return, that is a subjective return from investor. The equilibrium return can derive from cap M, and the omega is variance of error term in views. While this is P metric or peak or link metrics associated with views return from investor. Okay. In this study, we only focus on mean variance with two conditions, short selling and without short selling. With short selling, it means the constraint is only expected return portfolio and the sum of the weight. Without short selling, we put one additional constraint, but this is with the matrix form, yeah. I mean, if we have an asset in portfolio, then we will have an additional constraint. Each weight of asset is positive. While mean variance model can be developed into tangency portfolio, which is considered cap M, or this is global minimum variance. In this model is not consider about the level of expected return. But in this study, the GMF and tangency portfolio is not involved. Then the Black Litterman model with two conditions, two with short selling and without short selling. Okay. Then in the concept of efficiency frontier, we can use a grid of values of expected return portfolio. It means we expand all of the possible of expected return portfolio and determine the corresponding efficiency frontier portfolio. Now, in this process, by expanding the combination of weight and calculate the expected return portfolio and its variance, it will lead to sort all portfolio with the least variance. Then, as a simple way, we connect all the points. To produce the EF graph, we can use solver menu in Excel, or we can use quadproc package in our program. In this study, we use our program. Then we need to define the matrix of constraint. In two conditions, equal constraint and inequality constraint. The first matrix form is for the condition with short selling, and this one is about the constraint for additional constraint no short selling. In this matrix, P matrix, we have a new additional constraint with we call this D inequality. We can put it in the program. We talk about the data first, yeah. The data from JII, we select only 7 assets from February 2014 until January 2019. We select 7 assets with the different sector, mean and standard deviation. In Black Litterman model, we need to determine the few statement. We only consider 4 assets, and this is the fuse predictive return. We use scalar tau 0.1 and lambda 2.5%. With the previous formula for Black Litterman return, we calculate the expected return of Black Litterman, and this is the result. And using our program, this is the EF line for condition without short selling. The red one is the Black Litterman and the blue one is for mean variance. This point is related with the expected return and the risk. Efficiency frontier with short selling allowed. This is the second graph. What is the difference? The second graph with short selling allowed. It means let us see from MV model. Is P1 and ENDF, while with short selling, the EF line is moved to the left one. While move to the left one means the risk is lower than the first paragraph, the first line. Okay. In general, the red line, the EF for Black Litterman is the demonstrate that the portfolio from Black Litterman is more optimal, because all portfolios from Black Litterman is lying on the left side of the EF MV. Okay. In comparison, the EF line views here at a glance, the BL allocation demonstrate the EF line is on the left side of MV. This position shows that the risk of Black Litterman is less than MV. We also know that the BL model indicates a higher return target. We can refer to the graph. Yes, we can get the higher return than the combination from MV. Okay. For the real practice, we recommend to build the AF with no short sellings, of course. Due to the limitation of this research, we will make sure about the BL of Black Litterman. Consider the CAPM or tendency portfolio. And of course, in this case, we only give for views to build the Black Litterman return. So how about the impact of views returned with the AF can be developed in the next research. Thank you for the attention. This is the reference in the study. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.